fights.
You're a fucking dickhead.
And celebrity meltdowns.
No! If you can't help them, help me!
It's the Celebrity Wire on Sway in the Morning.
Fresh off his new deal with Priority Records, ladies and gentlemen. He's come here to join us today to talk about his new mixtape. It's called Windy, appropriately titled, because if you know anything about him, you know where he's from. He's from the Windy City, a.k.a. Chi-Town's finest, the one and only, the boy, Illinois.
Hey.
Yes,
what's going on,
man?
Hey,
we love you, bro. I describe you as a staple in the Sway in the Morning movement.
But y'all have been family and man, for years, for a long time now, and it's like I hit y'all up on some regular shit. Like, what's up?
Yeah, I see you in some fly ass gear or something.
Hey, you know that's how the boy Illinois get down.
Yeah. Best dressed. Before we talk about the mixtape, I wanted to see if you could join us for some celebrity.
Okay,
all right, yeah, because you're a celebrity now. You know,
I am. I'm transferring over.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
People stop you in the streets. They see
you. They definitely do.
Depending on how you wear your hair.
That's very true.
Yes,
very true.
Yes. So being on the other side, you may have a different perspective on some of these stories Tracy is going to tell. Tracy, we got first.
Okay, Mariah Carey. Oh my goodness, this is interesting. So it's being reported by Page Six that she underwent a weight loss surgery, specifically gastric sleeve surgery, and the reason being because she's been body shamed, and I've seen this myself. Looking at different comments that are put under her photos, and they're just far from nice and complimentary. So again, this is coming from Page Six. It's being reported that top surgeon out in Beverly Hills is the one who handled all the knife work, so to say. And for anyone who's unfamiliar with this procedure, it involves removing a part of the stomach so that the patient feels fuller more quickly, and it can be done via a small incision. The recovery time, it's reported it's very swift. The scarring is minimal. A source said that Mariah has always been proud of her curves, but this summer, as her Caesars Palace residency came to a close, and then she went on tour with Lionel Richie, she noticed it became harder to dance, and she was getting a lot more criticism online from body shamers.
So let me ask you this, and that's unfortunate because somebody who's been established as long as Mariah has,
this
she's
is a
mother.
legend.
She's been married, you know. You think you reach a certain point, man. When you got fuck you money, you don't care what. You know, I'm like, what you say? Fuck you. You know, like I swear,
right.
You wear the same hat. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whatever.
Right. But this shows
exactly like that.
But so let me ask you on the other side. But have you ever felt, because you're a snazzy dresser, sometimes what you put on is out of the norm?
Yeah,
somebody might think they might put it in a weirdo category. Some guys might put it in a
eclectic
category.
Yeah, there we go.
The what is cult? Cult living, or what is it? What did Swiss Beats have? The movement?
Oh boy.
We all
couture or whatever. You know. Yeah. Have you ever felt that pressure to change?
You definitely feel the pressure on social media to post a certain amount. Also, because the analytics are so important when we're talking about business and going to brands, so you kind of want to come off a certain way so that you do get those likes, so that can transfer into marketing dollars later down the line. So.
Okay, so we do, like, even on this mixtape, you got a song called "Salute," right? So you don't necessarily now you get all positive response. You say when they see you in the streets, they salute you.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, damn, that's an easy answer. Okay,
they definitely do. I mean, it's just from what I do in the community too. So outside of the music, I had a class while I wasn't there. I was here. I teach. Shout out to Betty Shabazz. I teach the 8th graders. Got a music project for the whole year, so I stepped in to be their teacher for that.
That's awesome.
Where at?
Betty Shabazz.
Okay.
It's a charter. It's a network of African-based charter schools, and Betty Shabazz is like one of the main ones. And I'm up in there doing my thing, working with the kids. Also, shout out to my homie Dale. When CPS don't have school, we have free basketball skill camps for the kids.
Okay. So, now for those who don't know, explain who Betty Shabazz is.
Betty Shabazz is a prominent leader, especially from Chicago. Just part of that civil rights movement, the whole thing. That's what we're going on. So it's kind of like that energy, and me being from Chicago, I take fault in this. I didn't even know about these charter schools until I got older, and I was like, damn, why mom and mom and dad ain't send me here?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just based off the curriculum, they everything is Kiswahili. You know, and you go in there and they saying Habari Gani Baba Ili. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the culture is just amazing, especially for people with the melanated folks. It's something that's very important that we need to be into.
Melanated folks. You know what that means, DB? All right.
Oh.
All right, next story.
That's cool.
Next story. The boy Illinois is here. Wendy is the name of the new mixtape.
Tracy G,
Next story.
You the same.
Right.
Nah, yo. We
right.
speak about someone who's fully 101% melanated, Meek Mill. But unfortunately, that's not helping him in this case because he just got a sentence of 2 to 4 years in prison. And this is all due to violating his probation with a pair of arrests that happened earlier in this year. We know one was in March where it was following a fight that happened at an airport. And even though those charges were dropped, not in the judge's mind, was still fresh in the judge's mind. The second time was in October when Meek Mill pleaded guilty to reckless driving. He also, unfortunately, had posted some videos that were used against him where he was, you know, popping a couple wheelies on a dirt bike. This was in New York City. And so the judge went on to say, quote, Meek Mill is just thumbing your nose. You're just thumbing your nose at me. It's what's being reported that the judge said in court. And so 2 to 4 years, Meek Mill is a part of Rock Nation. So Jay-Z has come out and spoken and said that he feels like this is unjust, feels like this is heavy-handed, feels like this judge in particular has a vendetta against Meek Mill.
The boy Illinois, being from Chicago, I was I have this theory that this you know, the judicial system, the whole. I've done some time and went not did the time, but I went to San Quentin. You know, I did a couple of times, and I just see this cyclical thing that's happening between us and our boxes. I call them boxes. You know, our communities. And well, you know, we get caught up in this paperwork and in this system, and we never get out. Even if you Meek Mill, who's traveling the world, just performing and making music, and he's popped a few willies, but now he got to do 2 years.
That's you hard. I don't wish jail on nobody, especially because it's supposed to be rehabilitation, and it's very far from that. So I'd rather. That's crazy.
And Wendy, do you confront that at all? Like, what song would you say kind of directly talk to dudes? And that's
probably the Salute record, because that's probably like one of the more charged, socially conscious joints. Just about, you know, just doing for community and just being a positive impact on people, especially the kids that's coming up afterwards, and being a little spiritual, little work up in that too. Yeah, because that's very important to your daily life.
To me, when I first heard that song off the mixtape, it made me, like, when I listen to your music now, it takes me back to your beginnings.
Good.
So because you were putting in a lot of work. Yeah. That I'm not. You even got a song called Footwork on the album, but but you put in a lot of work that I'm not sure if even people in your city recognize.
Nah, it's man, it's you hit it right on the head. But that's discouraging at times. Yeah. But you know, me being me and having a great team around me, I just keep pushing forward, because I've thought many times of quitting, because I'm like, man, in my own city, y'all don't respect me. I can't get a Lollapalooza show when I just came off tour with Van Jones, Lupe Fiasco, and I just did BET Award weekend, so ain't nobody reach out to me. So you know, you feel slighted, but then it's just like it is what it is. You're just gonna keep doing the work, because Chicago is a very small city, and it's big universe that we have. So
okay, the boy Illinois is here.
Chicago's a small city, but in the past years, it's been in the headlines for crime and everything,
crime,
but murder rate. And I feel like it's been a while that you've seen people like yourself, Chance the Rapper, doing good things for the community. You've seen Common, you know what I mean? You've seen Barbershop 3 and movies like Chirac, which tried to address what was going on in order to try to reverse the way everything was going. So can you kind of give us an update on, as far as how things are right now?
Well, you know, it's a lot of trauma, and it's going to take a long time to peel back all that trauma, because the way, like Allgale Gardens, right? Yeah, example of boxes. Yeah. Allgale Gardens is the first the housing project in Chicago, and it's like 8 blocks by 8 blocks, and it's like the grocery store, the schools, the doctor, everything is in this box. So it's basically psychologically telling you don't go nowhere. So from that, you put these people somewhere else. It don't matter where else you're gonna put them. Psychologically, the way they think is this box, no matter else wherever you put them. So we kind of just starting to get out of that. And what's also pretty cool is, like, people like Chance, they've made giving back popular and cool to do. Yeah. So everybody want to be involved with the kids now, and that's a very very big. So like when I walk into my classroom, they be like, you know Rico Reckless, you know Herbo, you know all, like yeah, I know all them, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh snap. So one time I hit my homie Rico Reckless while I was in class on FaceTime, just to, you know, it's a morale booster. And a lot of these kids come from broken homes and a lot of tragic trauma situations at very young ages. So you just try to keep that in mind and be cognizant of that. And a lot of these kids have never heard the term I love you. And that's very, very important. Because we take that for granted, especially people with parents that grow with parents and hears that, you know, from time to time. Some of these kids ain't ever heard it from nobody. So that's very important. So
Rico Reckless, talk about who Rico Reckless is.
Rico, that's my boy, you wild boy, but I get it. I love him. I love him.
What makes him wild? But you know, for those who don't know,
he's just an outspoken. He whatever is on his mind at the time, he gonna tell it. But down to the core, like a lot of my hood niggas that I rock with in Chicago, to the core, like they're really good people. It's just the circumstances that you grow up in that you have to have this exterior to protect yourself, and it's just the reality of the situation.
Wendy is the mixtape. The Boy Illinois is the artist. You can reach him at the Boy Illinois on Twitter. And I'm gonna run into let's play this Run It. Featuring Rico Reckless, Sway in the Morning, Shade 45.
Yeah. It's Sway in the Morning, only on Shade 45.